there, welcome to our puppy room. Today is Monday, December 18th, but on Saturday the 16th, Fern had a litter of her and Cliff's babies. They had 10 puppies, so we've got a nice litter here to share with you. The first puppy was born at 2:36 in the afternoon, and she finished up with puppy number 10 at 9:45 that evening. So she did a great job getting 10 puppies here. Actually, pretty quick. That's pretty fast for a litter of 10. I had spent the night before sleeping on the couch with her right by me, watching her, knowing she was getting really, really close. And then Saturday afternoon, she decided to start having her babies, which usually they do it in the middle of the night. So we were glad for a daytime delivery. We won't complain about that. So we will show you the puppies. I have a list here so I don't tell you anything wrong, and I'm just gonna go in the order of the list so I don't get myself confused. This isn't necessarily the order they were born in, but I will tell you which number in the litter each puppy was. So at the top of our list here, we have Green. We're gonna do all the girls first. There's 6 girls and 4 boys. We'll start with the 6 girls. And Miss Green here right now weighs 0.66 pounds. She was puppy number 8. And if we roll her over, and she's got the hiccups. I don't know if you can see that. She's got the hiccups right now. If we roll her over, we'll show you her markings. So Vizslas are a rust color. They can have white markings. If we look under here, she has maybe a tiny like couple hairs right there in her throat. That's questionable. That probably won't stay. And then on her back right paw, she has a couple of toes there that have some white on them. And there might be just a frosting, not a marking, but just like a highlight right at the toenail right there. That one's so light it's questionable. And she has just a few white hairs right here in her groin area. So she is a very lightly marked pup. Hardly marked. Their markings can fade as they grow, especially if they're really little when they're born, or these ones in the groin, because as they get older, the hair in the groin area is, they're pretty bald down there as they grow. So she could possibly end up at maturity being a solid pup other than these couple of toes. That's enough of a marking that should stay. So that is our Miss Green. Then next on our list of girls, we have Miss Gray right here. Miss Gray was the first puppy born, and she right now weighs 0.59 pounds. Here she is, and if we roll her over and show you, she has just a tiny bit, a little more than green, but still very, very, she does not want to put her head back. Come on, sweetie. Very light right there in the throat area for her. And if we look, she has frosting again, just right at the toenail. It's not as much of a marking as Green's one foot was. It's just a frosting. So kind of more like a highlight versus a white spot. Right there at those toenails. And she again has a little bit right there in the groin that probably will fade. So again, a very, very light marked pup. All of her markings could possibly fade as she grows. She's one that we just have to watch and see. I'll show you on her. They have had their tails stucked and their dew claws removed. Right there, you can see. And some of their belly buttons have dried up and fallen off. You can see she still has her umbilical stump. That should be coming off soon. We'll lay her down so she's not having to wonder what we're doing with her any longer. Next on our list of girls is Miss Till. Till is, I believe, let me hurry and confirm this. Yes, Till is the smallest of the litter. She was puppy number 4, and she weighs 0.52 pounds. If we roll her back and look at her markings, she has 2 markings on her chest. One that's a little bit bigger right up here by her calic, and then a smaller one underneath. She has a little bit right here in her throat. Her throat marking is enough. Let me see if I can get her ribbon out of the way. There we go. Her throat marking is enough. That one probably will stay. Her chest marking will definitely stay. And then if we look, her front feet are solid, but on her back feet, she has definite markings on both feet. So she's got markings that are definite enough right now. She's definitely going to keep those as she grows and be a solid pup. Sorry, we've got Fernhook just out of sight where she tries to just sit on my lap. You might hear her stirring, wondering why she can't quite reach her puppies. And next on our list of girls is Miss Yellow. Miss Yellow right here. She was puppy number 6. She weighs 0.68 pounds. And if we roll her over and take a look at her, she is very close to a solid puppy. She's got like, I don't know if I can do this with, let me try putting her down so I have more fingers. She's got like 2 white hairs right here. And then, she does not want me to do this. And then like 2 or 3 white hairs right there. So she has 2 tiny, tiny spots in her neck. Both of them small enough, I would guess they will probably go away. That's something we have to watch and see. I can roll her over again. Look at her some more. Her chest has like 2 or 3 hairs right on the calic. I really, really doubt that's gonna stay. She's got just a few in the groin. Like we mentioned, those are likely to fade away. She really wants to get away from me. Her front paws are solid. And her back paws are solid. So very, very lightly marked puppy. My guess would be at maturity she will appear as a solid pup. That's something that we just watch and see. Lots of times their markings show up the very most right after they're born. Then their coats go through several stages. Red's trying to crawl under my leg here. As they shed their, not really shed, but new coats grow in. Right now they've got really soft, very short fur. They don't really have the guard hairs necessarily that an adult dog would have. So as they go through several transitions in their coat until they reach maturity, their color will change a little bit. They're a little more brown at this phase, whereas as they get older, they'll be a little bit more red. But it does translate that a puppy who's a little bit darker right now will be a darker red than one who's a little bit lighter right now will be a little bit of, a lighter red as they grow. But the markings do show the most right now. Okay, so we will keep going. Our next girl is Miss Pink, and she was puppy number 5. She weighs 0.7 pounds. You can hear them squealing. They're wondering why they can't find their mama. Okay, and if we roll her over and look, Pink is a solid puppy. So I will just show you. There's no white on her anywhere. She wants to find her mommy, not me. There's her front paws and her back paws. So Miss Pink is solid. And after Miss Pink, the last girl that we'll show you is Miss Purple. Purple here was puppy number 10. She was the last one to show up. She weighs 0.79 pounds, so she is the biggest of the girls. And we'll roll her over and show you her. She has a very slight marking in her neck. It's kind of like the other puppy that we showed you. It looks like I'm roughhousing her. I'm really not. I'm being gentle, but they just don't like this. She's got a very slight white there and a very slight white there. Just a few hairs on each side. So that could fade. And then she also has very slight in the groin. You can see her chest is solid. Her paws are solid. She has very slight right there in her groin, and that is likely to fade. So Purple is a very lightly marked pup. All right, now we will move on to our boys. The first boy we're going to show you is Mr. Orange. He was the second puppy born. We will show him to you. He weighs 0.85 pounds. Got a deep color to him. And we will roll him over and show you. He has a definite marking here in his throat. That is definite enough. It will stay. He also has some very definite marking on his chest. He's kind of got, if I can get him to hold still, 4 markings kind of. There's a bigger one up here, and then it's kind of like 1, 2, 3, 4 across, kind of from armpit to armpit on his chest. His front paws are solid. He's got definite marking in his groin. His is definite enough. I bet that marking will remain. And then definite marking on his back feet. So Mr. Orange here wins the marking award for the litter. So for those of you who really like a marked pup, he's got the bold markings that really set him apart. So that is Mr. Orange. The next boy is Mr. Black. Where is he? Right here by me. And he was puppy number 7. He is a little bit lighter, his overall coat, than Orange. I don't know if the camera can pick that up. Orange has a deeper coloration than Black does. Either color is fine. It's just a range of color in them. So here is puppy Black. He was number 7, and he weighs 0.74 pounds. If we roll him back, we can show you. He's got a marking. It's not very big. His is pretty faint. It's kind of in between. There's been some of them that are hardly there. This one is there in his throat, but it's not super definite. I would think it'll probably stay, but be less visible as an adult dog than it is now. I think it'll just barely be there. If we look here, he's got 2 markings on his chest. One right here by his calic, and then one that kind of curves down into the left armpit area of his chest. If we look, his front paws look to be solid. There might be a slight frosting right at those toenails. That might even just be the light. It's so faint, I'm not even sure on that. But his back paws have definite markings. So Black is another puppy that is for sure going to remain a marked puppy as he grows. So that is Mr. Black. The next boy is Blue, right here. And Mr. Blue was number 9, and he weighs 0.83 pounds. He again has the really deep coloration. All of these puppies are actually on the dark side. There's just a few of them that are slightly darker, but I would put all of them. None of them are really light puppies. Here is Mr. Blue. He was number 9, 0.83 pounds. And if we roll him back and take a look. He is very, very faintly marked. He has nothing in his throat, nothing on his chest, nothing on his front paws, nothing on his back paws, but he does have, he does not want to hold still. He does have some marking in his groin. That could fade, it could be faint as he grows up. It's, you know, kind of an in-between level of marking there in the groin for Mr. Blue. And then last but not least is Red, right here. Red was puppy number 3. He weighs in at 0.85 pounds. And we will take a look at him. So here he is, and he has just a tiny bit of marking. He's got one dot right there in his neck, in his throat area. That's enough. I think it will stay. It'll be a small marking, but I do think that one will stay. He's not wanting to put his feet out. He's got solid paws, solid chest. Then for the back paws, there might be a slight bit of frosting. It might just be the light. They pretty much look solid to me. And he has some faint markings in the groin. Those are light enough, they are likely to fade, or if they're visible, be barely visible. So he is a very lightly marked pup. So there are Miss Fern's puppies. If you want the rundown, here is kind of the summary of her litter. Her first puppy was gray. He was born at 2:36. Then at 2:52, orange. Then she took a little break for a bit. At 5:02, she had red, and at 5:22, teal, and then 5:56, pink. Then at 6:12 was Miss Yellow. At 7:24 was Mr. Black. At 8:05 was green. 9:25 was blue, and 9:45 was purple. So she took that little break. Well, it was kind of a, you know, pretty good break from 2:52 to 5:02, but other than that, she pretty much just kept them coming. And so that's pretty quick for a litter of 10 to be born. She did a great job, and we thank her very much that she didn't do it in the middle of the night. Though we don't mind, it's worth being up and helping them, but usually a dog will deliver in the middle of the night. But anyway, so there are Fern and Cliff's pups. They're all nice and cozy in here. It's actually a bit of a blustery day outside. We're getting our first snowflakes of the year. The kids are super excited about that. But the pups are none the wiser that there's a snowstorm going on. They're in here nice and cozy and just doing great. And Fern is taking wonderful care of them. We're really pleased with these puppies.